Hi guys, so this is the problem cyclic shift that I'm going to discuss. Now there are a few things regarding this problem and I will talk about them one by one. So the problem statement says that we have been given a string A and we want to perform some cyclic shift operation on this string A such that it is maximized. So this B is basically the maximized string after performing maybe 0 or some operation on this string A. And the question asks us to report the how many cyclic shift operation we need to perform on this A such that we see this maximum string B for the kth time. Okay, so first of all let's break down this problem. Let's not worry about the kth time. We will just try to find out the number of cyclic shift operation we need to do to get this B for the first time, and from there we can move on to solve the original problem. So let's take an example. Let's say we have 1 0 0 1 1 1 1 and 0. So basically we want to perform cyclic shift operation. Now what's a cyclic shift operation? The question says that a cyclic shift operation is like we pick this first character and put it in the end. So after the first cyclic operation we get 0 0 1 1 1 1 0 1, and in the second cyclic shift operation we'll bring this 0 here and so on. So that's how a cyclic shift operation is defined. Now, notice that performing a cyclic shift operation means that we pick a substring of some characters from the beginning and put it at the end. What that means? Suppose I want to perform 3 cyclic shift operation on this string. This is my string, and I want to perform 3 cyclic shift operation. So if you notice, then performing 3 cyclic shift operation is same as picking a substring of first 3 characters and putting it at the end. So we have, so if I just pick these, so 3 cyclic shift operation means consider the substring of the first 3 characters and put it at the end of this remaining substring. So I just put this 100 at the end, and that's what you get if you perform 3 cyclic shift operation on this string. So that gives us an idea about the implementation. We can just use substring function and try out all the possibilities and just compare which one is the maximum, and that will help us in finding this B. But what's up with the time limit? Like, won't it give you TLE? Well, it would. But the trick here is to not try out all the substrings. Like, do not try all cyclic shift operation. So let me explain it. So basically, let's say you had this string 1 0 0 1 1 1 1 0. So suppose I want to perform 2 cyclic shift operation. Now performing 2 cyclic shift operation would mean that we pick these 2 characters and put them in the end. But it's pretty obvious that it's not an optimal operation. Like performing 2 cyclic shift operation is useless because doing that will bring this 0 in the beginning, and bringing a 0 in the beginning is never optimal. We want to have a 1 right in the beginning, so that's the first thing. So if we take the character from 0 to I minus 1 and then I to n minus 1, then we can simply put a condition that I want to crop this substring and put it at the end only if the ith character is a 1, because having a 0 in the beginning is never optimal unless all the characters are 0, in which case we can't do anything. So this is the first condition. Like I want to perform this operation picking a substring and putting it at the end, and basically I want to perform it only if the str of I, if this character is a 1, only then I will perform this operation. That's the first thing. The second thing is that, okay, but this is the first thing. Second thing is that suppose I don't want my previous character to be a 1, that is, this character should not be 1. Now why is that? Because if the previous character is a 1, for example, suppose my I is at this index and the previous character is a 1, then I can say that performing the cyclic shift operation or performing cyclic shift operation in such a way that I get this string in the beginning is not optimal, because we have a 1 before, and that would give us even more 1 at the left side. So we should not perform a cyclic shift operation for this I. So there are two things, and I hope they are clear to you, that in order to find out P, we just consider all the substring of length 1, 2, 3, 4, which basically denote number of cyclic shift operation, and we just put these two conditions, that if stri is 1 and str of I minus 1 is not equal to 1, only then we perform the cyclic shift operation. Okay, and I will show you the code. So you see these two lines. So I am trying out all the possibilities of S for which str of I is 1 and str of I minus 1 is not equal to 1. So for that I take the substring from I to n minus I and 0 to I. We take both the substrings and we compare them with our best answer. Also notice that okay, and you know that this I is basically telling you the number of cyclic shift operation you perform, because picking up a substring of length 4 from the beginning means that you have performed 4 cyclic shift operation. That's why all those 4 characters goes in the end. So we just take the string from I to n minus I and 0 to I only for this thing. If you don't write this if condition and just try all the possibilities, that will give you TLE. So it's important. And then this is the first thing of this problem. Okay. Now the second part is that we have to do it, we have to tell the number of iteration for the kth time. What we just did basically gives us the B, but for the first time. We get this B for the first time, but we want it for the kth time. So so basically it means that, for example, I got something like this. Let's say I got this. Suppose this is the B that I got, and I am saying that this is the maximum string I got after performing, let's say, 3 operations. I got this. Now the question is, now how many times I need to perform cyclic shift operation on this string in order to get the same string, right? Because this is the maximum. I want to perform some cyclic shift operation on this string and get the same string. Okay, number of operation more than 0, and that basically just the period of the string, because that's just how you define the period. Now for the formal definition, let's say we have a string AB AB AB. So what is the period of this string? Well, it's 2. Why it's 2? Because if we pick the first 2 characters and sort of repeat them infinite times, then at one point we will get this original string back, and we actually get it. Look at this. Why this period is important in this problem? Because once you get this B, then you just have to perform the period number of times operation to get it again. Like for example, look at this string. I need to perform, period is 2, and I need to perform only 2 operations to get this string back. So in the first operation this A goes here, in the second operation this B goes here, and after that we get AB AB AB. We get the same thing again. So After we have found this b, then we just have to find the period of this string b, because that is the minimum number of operation you need to do in order to get this string back. Okay, so how do we find the period of a string? Well, I'll talk about that in the end. But first, let's see what happens after we find the period of the string. So once you find the period of the string, we know that um, like we just have to, we can just calculate our answer this way. We see answer is just 1 into x. So this x is basically the number of operation I had to do to get that b for the first time. And after you got that string for the first time, this val is the basically the period of the string. For the next k minus 1 times, you just have to perform this number of operation, and you will get this. So this is my answer, right? If x is equal to n, so this is how I wrote my code. It's just implementation. X equal to n means that the string was already maximized, so we never had to perform any operation. So the answer would be just k minus 1 times val. Like suppose you have a string 1100, and let's say k is 1. What would be the answer for this test case? So the question says how many cyclic shift operation we need to do to see the maximum of this string for the first time. The answer is 0, because it's already maximized. We want to see it maximized for the first time, but for that the number of operation that we need to do is 0, because it's already maximized. So yes, that's why we write if x is n, like then we don't need to perform any operation. Otherwise this answer, which is k minus 1 times period plus this x. So this was the idea of this problem. Now as a final note, how do you find the period of a string? Now, there are multiple ways to do that. One of them is using KMP algorithm. So if you are not aware about KMP, then you can consider it as a sort of black box, I would say. But in KMP algorithm, if you know about it, we create a pi table. Like for example, let's consider this string ABAB. So what would be the pi table? Pi table is basically tells you what is the longest prefix which is also a suffix up to a certain point. So for this one, like if we just consider this guy, then there is nothing, no prefix or no suffix, so length is 0. If we consider this AB, then also answer is 0. If we consider this whole thing ABA, then you see that longest prefix which is also a suffix is this A. We have A in the prefix and we have A in the suffix, so we'll get a 1 here. And if you consider this whole string, then longest prefix which is also a suffix is AB. AB is, you can see, is a prefix, and AB is also a suffix for this whole string. So the length of this AB is basically 2, so we will get 2 here. Now in order to find the period of this string, we just have to do simple thing. Take the length of the string, in this case it's 4, minus this last value, which is pi of n minus 1, which is 2 in this case. So we get 2, and this is actually the period. It's just n minus pi n minus 1. So if you know how to create a pi table, then I don't think it's very difficult. You just create the pi table and subtract this last value from the length of the string, and that would just give you the period of that string. There are other ways as well to find the period, but I think this one is the easiest one. And yes, this is the code to find the period of this string. We declare a vector of pi, which is basically my pi table, and this is a code to find the pi table for a given string. A string is s here. Once you do that, the period, which is val, is nothing but n minus this value. Once you find the period, then this is the same thing. Okay, so yes, we can try to submit it. And works really fine. So Yeah, that's the idea for this problem. Thank you.